everybody, and welcome to the 1995 Triathlon Professional Tour. I'm Ian Sweet and I'm here in Florida, the Sunshine State. We're actually here for the St. Anthony's Triathlon, round one of the Pro Tour. This program is going to be a double header. We're going to go down under to the Surfers Paradise International Triathlon. But before we do that, before we get into either race, we're actually at St. Petersburg, affectionately known as St. Pete's. Let's have a look at this beautiful area. One of the great holiday destinations. It has just about everything on offer to those visiting the Sunshine State of Florida. The superb weather, glorious beaches offer an ideal setting for relaxing, recreation and sports of all kinds. The first Tampa Bay Triathlon, well, that started back in 1984 and it attracted a staggering 900 athletes. The following year, the event was moved to St. Petersburg, where St. Anthony's Hospital became the title sponsor. And today, some 1,300 athletes, including 70 professionals, will compete for an increased prize purse of $30,000 US, part of the $800,000 on offer during the 1995 Triathlon Professional Tour. So this is the male start, some 3 minutes before the woman. And we've got a star-studded field. Defending champion, well, that's number one. He wears number one. Got the green hat, Andrew McMartin from Canada. So the starter has them counting down. Unfortunately, they've jumped the gun because he started from 10.9. I would think people know by now, you just do not do that in sport. They'll always go. Well, the water temperature, it's above the limit of 21 degrees, so wetsuits are not allowed, not in order for today. We just see in the middle there the green cap of Andrew McMartin, yellow Benjamin Sanson, red, the Australian Greg Welsh.
Here we are at the start of the 1,500-meter swim of the St. Anthony's Triathlon. The pro men will be taking off first, leading their way down the pierway. Out to the end, hang a left, swim 500 meters, hang another left, and shoot on in through the jetty and up the ramp. 3 minutes behind will be the women. Hopefully the men are strong enough and can stay ahead.
Well, she's the one who can tell us that. That's the American Wendy Ingram, Wingnut Ingram. She's in this women's start. She's actually wearing the red colours cap nearest the camera. That was Juliana Nievergoat in yellow. Number 41, we just got a glimpse of as well. That's a new pro this year, Mary Ellen Powers from the Americas. And green, the favourite, I suppose, McKeely Jones, the Australian. And another good swimmer in sky blue is Sylvia Corbett. That's one to look out to. But these are our leaders. Far the picture, raced ITU World Cup last year, finished second overall. Gail Lawrence, the American, although she was born in Canada. Nearest the picture in green, fluorescent green, is McKeely Jones. And right in her wake, Wendy Wingnut Ingram, our course commentator today. We'll see a bit more of her later in the show. So already it's a very competitive swim for these three women. But going over to the men, it's the Sanson brothers, Jerome Sanson in yellow, and right behind, sorry, yellow is Benjamin Sanson, and right behind is Jerome. Jerome used to be the better triathlete, although both are first-class, world-class swimmers, and indeed Benjamin Sanson is currently ranked 14 in the world over 1,500 meters. That's in the pool. His pool time, well, that's a staggering 15 minutes flat plus 34 one-hundredths of a second. His brother Jerome was the national champion back in, 4 years ago. You can see they've already built up a substantial lead at the first turn, 500 meters in the swim, and their lead is approaching 21 seconds at the turn. That lead pack, though, some 20 seconds in front with Jerome and Benjamin are being chased hard by these boys, and these boys contain most of the pre-race favourites. Andrew McMartin's in there, McMartin, the defending champion, Greg Welsh, the Ironman champion, of course, won the World Championships in Florida back in 1991 at Orlando. We knew them as the Mickey Mouse World Championships because, yep, you guessed it, they were on Disney property. But this is the lead woman. And the lead woman at the moment, she won the 1992 and 1993 World Championships, the governing body's World Championships. And right beside her in red is Wendy Ingram from Walnut Creek,
how far do they have to go?
who has traditionally led most of the swims during the last couple of years. So she's come out of Ironman, the last 3 years in the front, and eventually been caught by Paula Newby-Fraser. Paula's not racing here today. She's going to race a couple of weeks' time in Wildflower But what a competitive swim by these women. Look at them, there's a whole bunch of them there together, taking advantage of each other, protecting themselves in these rough waters, and it is rough. The water temperature is the mid-70s. I mentioned earlier it's above the legal limit, but watching right across we can see our two lead men. It's still Benjamin Sanson in front with his brother right behind. 25-year-old Benjamin. They both come from Bordeaux originally, but they live down in Antibes now. They've been in Florida for 2 or 3 weeks training in this beautiful sunshine. That's Benjamin and his brother Jerome. In fact, Benjamin did compete in the French National Championships this year. Jerome didn't. He stayed down at Antibes to swim and practice with the other triathletes who are down there. Indeed, all the French national team are down there training during the winter months. And also Simon Lessing, who we'll see in our second part of the program, he spends his winter months there. So it's still McKeely Jones out front, the girl from Sydney who resides during the summer months in Encinitas, California. Right behind Wendy Ingram, Gail Lawrence is still there. Just looking through though, these are the men. This is Jerome Sanson. We just got a glimpse of the yellow-capped Benjamin in front there, well on the way back now towards the finish. And in second and third place, nearest the camera, is Andrew McMartin. Right beside him, without the swim cap, the Irish Garrett McCarthy. Right in their wake is Greg Welsh. Mark Bates is there. That's the dark blue cap. But our leaders are just coming up towards the end. They've built up a substantial lead. They're nearing 2 minutes in front of the chase pack. Just passing, in fact, John Franks there, the paraplegic. He started off 10 minutes in front of them. He's I say he's out for fun. He's out to qualify for Ironman. This is a qualifying race, not for wheelchair or paraplegic competitors. That's next week in Panama City, I think it is. But these are our two leaders out of the water, Benjamin and Jerome Sanson. Benjamin's time, 17 minutes and 53 seconds. So that rough water didn't slow them down too much. You can see the others are struggling a little bit, though, literally in their wake. There's some 1:45, 1:46 minutes back as the Sanson brothers get on their bike and head out onto this 40-kilometer bike course, the second section of the St. Anthony's Hospital Triathlon. I mentioned earlier, it is round one of the professional tour. In fact, 2 races are taking place the same day. One down under, which we're coming up next, Surfers Paradise Triathlon, and this race here. Just got a glimpse of McCarthy and McMartin coming out, 4th and 5th respectively. Alec Rukaseyev, the Russian, is out in, well, joint 3rd position in 19 minutes and 21 seconds with McCarthy and McMartin. Interesting, Rukaseyev, he came over here in 1990 for those World Championships and decided to stay. But those are the swim times for the men after the opening 1,500-meter swim. Sanson brothers, Rukaseyev, McCarthy, the Irish, American base though, and McMartin down in 5th place. So these are the women though coming up towards the end of this swim. Nearest the camera, leading at the moment, is Gail Lawrence. She's got the white cap. Nearest the camera in picture is Wendy Ingram, right behind McKeely Jones, and just the far side it looks as though it's still Mary Ellen Powers, the American. In the second pack behind, nearest the camera in grey, in fact, was Carol Montgomery. But this is Gail Lawrence. Decided to race the Pro Tour this year. She raced the ITU World Cup last year and was very successful. She won in Ixtapa and had some other very high place finishes to finish 2nd overall in the series. But so she's through the picture with Wendy Ingram and Mary Ellen Powers 2nd. Julianne Nievergelt with a yellow cap. Montgomery in grey. Marcy Cantu, the American, was also through the picture. But this is Lawrence at the bike pack. Her lead time was 21 minutes and 18 seconds. So that was very good in these conditions. And there we are, just to look through the women's swim results after that 1,500-meter swim. Montgomery, in fact, was out in 21:27.
As we head out on the 40K bike, strap your feet in tight. It's a flat, fast course with 32 turns. Yep, it's going to be exciting watching those people around the corner. And there's one small hill, I believe. It's a bridge. So hold on tight. It's going to be a fast one.
Thanks, Wendy, for that advice. The Sanson brothers are still leading. And indeed, they're not being caught at all at the moment. This is, in fact, the chase pack. We've got Nick Radkovic here. This looks like Alec Rukaseyev has just been overtaken by Greg Welsh. Up ahead in the 2 red trunks. On the left is McMartin. On the right is McCarthy. Up ahead, we've got leading the This group is the American Wes Hobson. In fact, like Gail Lawrence did race World Cup this year, but he's here racing certainly the opening races on the Pro Tour. This is Hobson, lives up in Boulder, Colorado. He's spinning quite well at the moment. He's got a new bike. He rode the soft ride last year. That's the bike with a suspended seat, no seat pin. And this is McKeely Jones with Gail Lawrence. They've certainly set a very quick pace on the opening stages of this, opening sections of this 40-kilometer bike for the women. Back down in what, 8th place or so is Carol Montgomery. In front of her is Michelle Gert. Don't know much about Michelle. She's a first-year pro. And in front of her, Marcy Cantu. We just saw a glimpse of her in her Reebok kit. And coming up to the threesome behind is Wendy Ingram, Juliana Nievegeld, and on the front end it looks as though Mary Ellen Powers, who had that great swim, is still there. And they're chasing down still Gail Lawrence. Here we are, the farther picture in the yellow, and McKeely Jones, the Australian. Interesting story about Gail Lawrence. She was actually born in Montreal, but lived in America. She became an American citizen, and now she lives in Belgium at Mons. You can see, for those of you who recognize the Lion team kit of the Belgian Mons team, the Mons base team. She lives with her husband, Mike Garcia, who's in the military. In fact, they're just back off to Texas in a couple of months' time, so we won't see much of Gail, no doubt, during the season, during the European Series, the Prestige Series, and the other series that are taking place within Europe. And of course, the Pro Tour, and indeed the ITU World Cup. It kicks off in a few weeks' time down in Gérardmer in France. So these are our lead women. They're going back towards the transition area. They've completed the first 8 miles or so, but this is the Sanson brothers. They're still out front, and indeed they've increased their lead. They're coming up to 2 minutes in front. So as they head on their weary way, we'll take a break.
Graf, Sanchez, Martinez, Novotná, Hirsch. The WTA Tour on Eurosport is credited with the most graceful exponents of tennis. All year round, on the world's most prestigious courts, they compete to produce the best in skills and charm, offering us a bouquet of entertainment. The Italian Open, Friday live at 2 p.m, the semi-final Saturday live at 2 p.m, the final Sunday at 4 p.m on Eurosport. With pole position, Eurosport takes you right to the front of the grid to find out just what's happening at the Grand Prix. John Watson joins Ben Edwards at the trackside to tell you who's doing what and why in the Formula One World Championship. Pole position, Friday and Saturday at 6:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. on Eurosport.
Boxing on Eurosport.
Schwer versus Shungu for the Commonwealth lightweight title. Friday, 9 p.m, live on Eurosport.
Welcome back to the first race of the 1995 Triathlon Professional Tour. We're in the beautiful sunshine state of Florida. We're in St. Petersburg. This is the St. Anthony's Triathlon, and in picture now we can see our 2 lead women. On the left in black is McKeely Jones, 92-93 world champion, 1994 professional champion, and on the right Gail Lawrence, who in 94 was ranked 2 in the world on the ITU World Cup. These are our 2 men leaders, though. It's still the Sanson brothers. Number 55 nearest the camera, Benjamin Sanson, the great national swimmer and indeed international swimmer. And the farther picture, his brother Jerome. Jerome, the 24-year-old. Benjamin, just a year older, 25 years old. They based themselves in Florida a few weeks to acclimatize themselves. This is the Mighty Mouse, Greg Welch, the Australian. And looks as though he's a man on a mission at the moment. He's just cruised past Wes Hobson, who's been leading this chase pack for quite some while. And you can see they're getting up, they're getting out of the saddle, because this is one of the 32 right-hand bends on this 40-kilometer bike course. Our 2 leaders now, they're on their way back on the 40-kilometer bike section. It's Benjamin and Jerome Sanson. Their lead, well, that's a staggering 2 minutes. I am surprised they've stayed out there together, and the pack haven't been able to wind them in. I say pack. Drafting is not allowed on the professional tour. That's taking pace. That's sucking wheel, as they say. You can see they are something like 7 meters apart. The official ruling in this race is a 7 by 3 meter box, and the Sanson brothers, although they're leading, they're trying to adhere to those rules. There is a marshal with them. He's been with them virtually all the way. You can see Benjamin behind is trying to get in the right position so he doesn't get a call, he doesn't get a drafting violation. This race has been going since back in 1984. Some of the greats of the sport have won it, including Mike Pigg. He's won it, what, 3 times. Our own Spencer Smith won the race here back in 1993. Last year it was the Canadian Andrew McMartin, who is in that chase pack trying to defend his title. And for the women, well, some of the women who won this race are Kirstine Hansen, well, we haven't seen her for a couple of years, although she did race the winter quadrathlon down on Mount Roberts in New Mexico earlier this year. Colleen Cannon, Donna Peters has won the race a couple of years, and the defending champion, she's leading at the moment, is McKeely Jones. This is a chase men's pack going through with all, I suppose, the pre-race favourites. If you were a betting man, you wouldn't bet on the Sanson brothers to actually win overall, although the way they're going, the others are going to have to do exceedingly well. Gail Lawrence, the 31-year-old, in Mons, Belgium. Swim background, she was up at University of Colorado, where she was a swimmer, took a Bachelor of Arts degree in biology, but races for the Lion Club in Belgium. I don't know if she's going to race for them for the rest of the year. As I said earlier, she's going back to Texas with her husband. He's going back to school in the military. In third position now, though, Carol Montgomery. She's cruising through. Carol Montgomery. We haven't seen a lot of her in the last few months on the triathlon circuit because she's been concentrating on running. And what a great job she's done. In the recent Pan Am Games, the Pan American Games down in Argentina, she picked up a bronze and silver medal in the 5 and 10,000 meter on the track respectively, and indeed she nearly picked up a gold. She lost a shoe, got spiked, and had to run barefooted. But this is Andrew McMartin. He's off the pace at the moment because he has had a call. He's had a drafting violation call. They made him stop for a minute, but he's back on his bike and he's chasing that pack pretty hard. Way out front at this moment. They're heading back towards the transition area. It's still Benjamin Sanson, and just down the road, his brother, Jerome Sanson. So the French brothers are doing a great job here. This is the chase back. Carlos Lomba, the Puerto Rican there in the blue trunks, just behind Alec Rucaseo here in the picture. He now lives in California. California. He lives in Florida. He lives at Apopka, Florida. Married an American girl. These are brothers. This is Jerome and Benjamin, in front of the picture here. Benjamin just coming through. Really does look a great chase. Obviously appreciated the good weather that this state offers. His time, 1 hour, should I say, 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Well, that was a swift change by Benjamin. Not quite such a quick change by his brother Jerome, and he's lost about 10, 20 meters as they head out now on the final discipline, the 10-kilometer run. This is the chase pack coming back. It looks as though Greg Welsh is dragging them back. Nick Radkovich was right behind the American, but number 15 is Greg Welsh. They're coming back into the transition area. It's Welsh, Radkovich, and Wes Hobson is still in contention. So there's something like 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes back on the French brothers. Well, the Mighty Mouse is certainly going to have to do some mighty running if he's going to run them down and continue the form. He's just, in fact, finished second in the Australian Grand Prix over the last 2 or 3 months behind the World Cup leader, Brad Bevan, fellow Australian.
And if you think the bike leg was fast, hold on to your bikini tops, because let me tell you, this run is going to be even faster. It's flat, it's straight out, 3.2 miles, a turnaround in a beautiful mansion, and straight back to the finish line. Nothing but thoroughbreds are going to be out there today.
Well, there's certainly some thoroughbreds, as Wendy's told us, towards the front of this field. This is Benjamin Sanson, the swimmer, now triathlete. This winter of training, he's been training all over the place. He was third in Phuket at the end of the year, then carried on training throughout the winter. McKeely Jones, though, she's still out front with Gail Lawrence. They've been together for the duration of the 40-kilometer bike ride, and they're now back in the bike park, and their time, well, overall time is 1 hour, 26 minutes and 54 seconds. The bike split, well, that was just over the hour, 1 hour and 2 minutes for McKeely Jones, 1 hour, 2 minutes, 13 seconds. And for Gail Lawrence, it was 1 hour, 2 minutes, 14. But the fastest on course at the moment is Carol Montgomery. She's in third position as Gail Lawrence heads out. And what a drop she's had. She's lost about, what, 50 or 60 meters on the Australian as McKeely Jones spurts through that transition area. Here she is. This is Carol Montgomery in third position. Fastest bike split of 1:02 and 7 seconds to maintain third position with Marty Cantu and Juliana Nievergeld from, well, she belongs to Team Psycho up in Boston in fifth position. But this is Mickey Mouse, Mighty Mouse, should I say. Greg Welsh, he's in third position, and he really is reeling in at the moment. The Sanson brothers, Jerome's dropped off the pace substantially from Benjamin here in the picture, and you can see Benjamin is starting to labour as he heads out towards the turn, the 5 kilometre point of this final 10 kilometre run. And as Wendy Ingram told us, this is mansion country. You just have a look at some of the mansions beside this run course. McKeely Jones, now she really has pushed on that early part of the run and built up a substantial lead over Gail Lawrence, and in third position Carol Montgomery. But looking down, Mickey Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Greg Welsh has passed Jerome Sanson. He's now in second place, and he's got Benjamin Sanson firmly in his sights. Well, this is good running by Welsh. So unlike the others, he's been racing for the winter. He's been racing that Australian Grand Prix, and I think we're going to have a new leader. Yes, we do. It's Greg Welsh. Where's number 15? Is in the pole position, though. He's certainly showing some great running form here. Doesn't he look relaxed? Totally concentrated, totally committed to the job in hand. And the job in hand is the 10-kilometer run. And someone else who's got a spurt on is Alek Rukaseyev. The Russian came off the bike, what, in about 6th or 7th position, and now he's going to take the third. He's going to move into the podium position soon. He's going to overtake Jerome, who's struggling a bit in the heat. It's in the mid to high 80s at the moment, and Alek Rukaseyev certainly is used to it. Lives just up the road in Apopka. That's in the state of Florida. And now we have number 1, Greg Welsh. 2 is Benjamin Sanson, and third at the moment is Alek Rukaseyev. And the question must be up. Just see Benjamin, actually, just down the road. He's about 100 meters back on Greg Welsh, who really has had a fantastic last couple of years, which really did finish with the 1995 with his great victory. First time ever that a non-American has won the Gatorade Ironman World Championships here in Kona. This is the Hawaii Ironman, and isn't this boy delighted? This is Greg Welsh, the winner of the 1995 Ironman. And you can't get much more excited than that, can you? What a finish. The job in hand for him at the moment is not the Gatorade Ironman, and I'm sure he'd love to retain that title this year, but it's the 1995 St. Anthony's Triathlon, and he's in pole position at the moment. He's certainly showing some great form after that success down under. You can just see the 2 Australians crossed over here. That's Welsh going away from us, and coming towards us, McKeely Jones. So we've got an Australian double at the moment. Welsh leading the men and Jones leading the women. And if you'd like a little mansion, take a look at that. It's a few million bucks for sure. But this is a majestic run course, certainly one of the prettiest in the sport. And, well, that's nice, isn't it? Welsh has just given some encouragement to Carol Montgomery. There's only something like 40 seconds adrift at the moment of McKeely Jones, and in third position in the women is Gail Lawrence, just going through the picture there as well. She's now in, what, the last about a mile or so to go before he's going to win this opening race on the Pro Tour. In fact, this is the third race on the Pro Tour, but it's the first scoring race. It's all the Ironman races, first full scoring race, should I say. It's all the Ironman, full Ironman races are also half-pointers. But at the moment, it looks as though Rukaseyev, the Russian, is going through into second place. He's in the silver position. And Benjamin Sanson, that leader for so long, has been relegated to the third spot. Oh, Rukaseyev. And Rukaseyev, in fact, won this race back in 1992. And unfortunately for him, he was disqualified for drafting. Very tough marshalling here as Jones heads now. She's on the way. She's, what, 6-7 kilometers into the race. And chasing hard, certainly the best runner in the field at the moment, is Carol Montgomery. She had the fastest bike split. She's got the fastest run split, I think, at the moment. But it's going to be Welsh's day. It's going to be number 1 at St. Anthony's. Number 15, Greg Welsh. a 30-year-old from Bangor, Sydney, lives in Encinitas, California. He's also bought a house up in Boulder, Colorado. So all this money he's winning. He's certainly won a few bob in the Ironman, and he's won a few bob here today. That's something like $5,500 for winning this year's race. And in second position, Alec Rukasea. Well, that'll do his bank balance a lot of good as well. But for the woman, well, she's been there throughout the run. She led the race from the swim. Well, she was just behind Gail Lawrence, just seconds behind, and she led throughout with Gail Lawrence again in the 40k bike, and she actually dominated, totally dominated this final 10-kilometer run. It's the Australian, the professional champion, McKeely Jones. And in second position, couldn't quite do it. She had a gallant try, certainly run her down just a little bit, is the Canadian Carol Montgomery. It's good to see Montgomery back to form, and hopefully we'll see a lot of her during the forthcoming months on the Pro Tour and indeed the ITU World Cup. Well, there we are. Welsh Rukasea, Sanson, Benjamin finished third, and his brother Jerome, he picked up 5th position. And for the women, McKeely Jones. So an Australian double here at the St. Anthony's Triathlon. Well, we'll take a short break and then we'll come back to the